Okay, I want to give you an insight into how I look at the charts in the morning. Look at the top left, you can see it's 6:46 a.m. when I started recording this. I open up the chart and I keep my markings from the day before, and I see how the daily candle has turned out for the morning. Then I go to the 8-hour candle. The reason why I like this time of day is because it's coming to the end of Asian session, and then you have an hour until London session comes in. So there's normally some nice rejections and some nice volatility at the same time, and even some liquidity to be taken from Asian high, low, and other sessions that haven't been breached yet. So here on the 8-hour, it's a new 8-hour candle, and you can see for 45 minutes, it tried to push up, created a high, and then rejected. So predominantly, this isn't looking like going up, but overall, I am looking for price to try and get back up to the blue lines of 5,097. So I've identified some key areas down below for price to come down to for potential buys. And then I look at the 3-hour candle. So the 3-hour candle closes in 12 minutes. And the indicators I have here are from the Ichimoku Cloud TK lines. And when I see a split like this tells me that price is more than likely going to shoot up for at least a large portion of today rather than down. However, we can take out some more liquidity before we go up. So I need the 3-hour candle to close the bull candle for this to confirmation for this to continue up. So now I map out key areas. So the green zone is a key area for buys. Now, the top of the green zone is one area. The dotted black area here is second area. And there's also just below the bottom, there's normally a third area. And I don't normally see all three of those triggered because that's about 100 pips between. Now, that's the first area. Ideally, I want to see a trend line created, some consolidation, and then a breakout to the upside. But this would need to have the 3-hour candle close as a bull candle for this move to be confirmed for the full 300 pips. Then all I do is I'll wait for one of our very skilled traders, Synergy, to potentially give a trade idea in and around the zone. Now, he gave a trade idea here, which was on a downtrend for me, so I did not take this. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just didn't align with what I'm looking for. And as you can see here, I checked still, 7 minutes left, 3 hours closing as a bull candle, so everything's confirming. I've now got the gray area mapped out as the open of the 3 hour, so price could come down to this area and then push back up. Now you can see price did continue down. There is only around 8 minutes left, and we're getting very close to that gray area, which is a buy zone, but I'm very cautious because this also means the 3 hour could flip, and there's still 7 to 8 minutes left of the 3-hour candle. So I'm not going to take the buy at this area because the element of risk is a lot higher. As you can see, price did tap that area. Look at the timestamp, 6:55 at the top. So I'm doing this play by play. This isn't something that I've gone on the back testing tool. This is play by play. And you can see, again, price came into that area, did push up around 30 plus pips, but that isn't of interest to me. And it was a good call because with 1.5 minutes left, the 3-hour had flipped to a bear candle. So the green zone was looking more likely than price going straight back up. So on the 30-minute bear candle, and then all of a sudden, price did spike within the first 2-3 minutes down to that zone. And if you take a look at my entry, it was at 5,012.5, which was roughly just in between my gray zone. So I missed the actual previous entry. I didn't have a buy limit, but when I pressed it, it moved so fast that I managed to just get one entry, and that was job done. That was a pretty quick trade, and I think managed to catch roughly around 50-55 pips for that one trade, and that worked out around 0.2% profit. Then, as you can see, I kept an eye on price, and it did start to reject. And then it pushed back down to our second zone. And as you can see at the top, Synergy gave a buy order. However, I didn't take this one because I was more than happy with the 0.2% for that moment, and therefore I let that trade play out. But if you would have taken it, that would have been the trade. And you can see clearly that area, and price did start to push up. Now, what I was looking for the bigger move is I needed to see the two white lines, which I've circled in red, come down a bit like the blue lines as an example, and then us break the trend line and continue to the upside. So that's why I didn't believe that this buy would go much higher than the top of the green zone. Now, I was also very aware that we had Asian low, which is the blue line at the bottom, where price could sweep liquidity there and then make the move to the upside. As you can see, price didn't break out of the green too much and then pull back. So now there's the third entry. Again, I didn't look to take a buy. This was at 7:19 a.m. Didn't look to take a buy at this point, but you can clearly see that is the area of around 5,004.6. On the 15-minute, price looked like it was about to flip to the upside, so I didn't actually foresee it coming down much further. So I put a line for the top of the 15-minute to flip, and then I also put a yellow line for the top of the 30-minute for the bigger move that I was looking for. Again, you can see now the white lines, the TK lines are starting to come down. I need them to come further down, as you can see here. I need them to come further down so we start consolidating to then break this trend line and continue to the upside. So as you can see up the top is 721, so it probably will be nearer to the next 30-minute candle. This is the 30-minute as it stands, and if price pushes back down, then I would look for potential buys at the Asian low. Now you can see the TK lines, the two white lines are getting closer together, so getting nearer for confirmation for a possible break to the upside. And now I'm starting to identify areas. There's no clear candlestick patterns, but I'm identifying that kind of area for a potential buy. And that would be where it was. Again, I didn't take this because I was more than happy with the 0.2% so far. And I wasn't really in the mood for trying to catch any more trades. And I did had to leave the house around 20 minutes, 30 minutes later. So I was cautious of the time. If you look at the white indicators, they're now below price. So it's good. Now expecting price to come up to respect the trend line, pull back down, and then wait for the breakout. Now, this could flip just straight to the upside, go for Asian high and the other two areas, or we could come up and then pull back down to Asian low. So let's see what happens. And as you can see here, price did start the breakout, which would have been a lovely little entry. Again, 30, 40, I think it's possibly even 50 pips again if would have taken that. Price then did have the pullback that we expected. So that trade was now not really on the radar, but now I'm waiting for the bigger move because we're above the white indicators. We've already retested the trend line. Now we're coming into a new 1 hour candle shortly within around 13 minutes. So that's the play that I'll be waiting for. Again, 30-minute looking more bearish with the wick to the downside. So Asian low is still possible. So you have to be careful. So there's another area for entry down there, but I'm not foreseeing price break through the green yet. So that potentially is the move. It's around 100 plus pips, around a 2, 2.5 to 1. You can make it bigger to be a 2 to 1 or even a 1 to 1 really. So that was the play starting to happen. It was a new 1 hour candle, price pushed up. And then when I came back when I checked this on the gym, then I could see that the move near enough happened. Now, if you were strict to the stop loss, you would have been stopped out for sure. But it gives you a better understanding of knowing the play that I was looking for and why. Okay. Now, if you look at the timestamp in the top left, this is 11:20 when I got home from the gym, and I could see that our Asian low area was inbound, which is around 4994.4. So I actually set 3 layers down here, ready for price to come and sweep the low. And if you watch here, what happened? Then you see price had that sudden surge, actually didn't trigger the third trade. And then I was on the computer as well at the same time, and I manually closed these with, I think it was roughly around, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this was roughly around, and then you see other signal providers calling out their trades as well. And then I think this was again around another 0.2%, correct me if I'm wrong. There you go, synergy up the top. See that, prepare for buy, another confirmation that it was the right key area because other more skilled traders than me have identified those zones. And I think I closed, yeah, there you go, there's the zone. I think I closed the buy limits. I just realized that the buy limit hadn't triggered. And once I closed that, then I think I manually closed the other trades, and that was it. Job done. Yeah, and there you go. 1 trade, 2 trade, job done. And that was it. That was the move. And if I would have held them, which I had no interest in holding them, then price did go all the way through and back up. And that was my session. That's how I mapped out the charts. Now, sometimes the charts aren't anywhere near as crystal clear as this, and that's where it's just good to take a step back and watch. But these setups are really nice, and when they do happen, it makes trading a lot more enjoyable. And this is what I'm looking to do with the social copy trading as well. So let's see, and hopefully this made sense to you.